Welcome to the World XP Podcast, Episode 3. Our man's Jay Lewis in the building.
That's me, Little Bones.
Brought you on for some entertainment.
Booties.
And more, as the man is on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
You're about to graduate from school.
Factamundo.
On the 23rd, all you got left is your paper. Was it thesis paper?
Mm-hmm. My little research job I'm doing.
And what is that on?
So it's about, hold on, let me get the wording right, because me and my professor have been going back and forth. It's an individual study thing.
Yeah.
So the impact that social media has in pertaining to what's going on today. So COVID-19 and, Black Lives Matter movement and the protests and everything that are going on. So, and basically just how people are using social media and like what started that kind of deal.
So what as you were writing, how did you get on this topic, I guess?
Because I peeped that I am on social media all the time. Everybody knows that. I'm on Snap, on Instagram, stay on Twitter. Shout out to my boy Tony for Twitter. But I'm always on like social media and stuff. But at the same time, it's like when everything happened with like the protests and stuff, when I put all those pictures out that I dropped and stuff like that, it was like a lot of people like started reaching out, and I was like, dang, like I didn't think people paid attention to like social media.
Yeah.
But with everything happening in the actual news not being 100% accurate, social media has kind of been like it for news. So
it's kind of sad if you think about it.
I mean,
people like me and you tweeting random stuff, and it's the news.
I mean, they had, what were those old newspapers called? They used to drop stuff like that all the time, where people could buy things like
run ads.
Not even like regular ads. It would be whole newspapers of just like absolute BS. Like it would be like, I was abducted by aliens type shit. Like I kid you not, that was an actual thing. Like
where was I?
It was like it was just like random stuff. Like because it would be interesting to people. People don't always want to read about, you know what I'm saying? People dying. And
people want to read The Onion.
Yeah, they want to read some BS that some kid in his basement made.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I find it, I'm gonna look it up though. I'm gonna definitely look it up.
Yeah,
it's definitely a thing.
Send me the link when you find it. That would be funny.
Because I don't remember. I really can't remember what it's called, but it's definitely it used to be a thing. Like because there was, of course, regular news and newspapers, and then there was like these little like short magazine newspaper type things that would come out, and it would just be like, "Oh, are you afraid of werewolves? This is why." Like,
and how to protect yourself against werewolves.
Pretty much, like where to get your silver bullets, like not at Walmart.
All the conspiracy theorists out there and stuff.
Can't get them at Target.
No.
Protest joke. No, I'm just kidding. Think about it.
All right. So. You decided on the topic.
Yellow journalism.
You decided on the topic. Then you started researching. What was your... So, 2 questions. What was your method? Or like, how did you research it? And then 2, what did you find? Or like, how did what you found shape where you were going with the paper?
So, I haven't finished researching, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of like, I've already done like the... kind of like the background, like articles that'll kind of like make the foundation of what I want to do. But like as far as like, because I want to interview people like based on their experience on social media. How do they view these things? How are these things happening?
It's almost like a podcast.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, yeah, pretty much like a podcast. Except I'm not going to record it.
Yeah.
I'm lame. Nobody wants to be recorded. Like another not like. But like, yeah. So I just did like just the regular foundation part of it, like just finding out what like things happened that may have led up to people using social media and stuff. And I found one article that was interesting. It was talking about after Donald Trump got elected into presidency and stuff. Basically, there was a spike in the use of stuff like Twitter because that's what he uses.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, oh, we elected this guy as president. He uses Twitter. We're going to use Twitter too. Basically.
It makes sense a little bit. You want to get...
It's like if we want to show our president uses it, or not our president, but he uses it. So it's like, if we want to communicate with him on a level that he understands, why don't we just use it? So
yeah, makes sense. Also makes sense that he only uses 280 characters to communicate. But
oh yeah,
that's neither here
dude's
nor there.
elite, and he does not kid.
Nah.
He does not kid.
Emphasis on kid.
Think about it. Slow it down. He just dissed him. Does not kid because of the.
There, we got it.
Just making sure you stay on. We're here.
That's what the audience is here for. Right, Tony? You pick up on that?
Look, Tony.
You made me lose my train of thought. All right, so you found the spike in Twitter usage after he got elected.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on Twitter. Did you notice that when you were on Twitter? Did you notice more people saying bonkers stuff?
The thing that I noticed was I was seeing more tweets from the president. I follow Obama, and I didn't even see a lot of tweets.
Yeah,
and I'm a little disappointed. I'm just kidding, but it was more like I noticed Obama spoke more. He went out of his way to be in front of, you know what I mean,
the crowds,
the masses and stuff like that. Versus my man who kind of got them Twitter fingers.
He does. He's sitting on a golden toilet tweeting.
You can't have them Twitter fingers. But I mean, it's weird. I don't know. Like when I first when he got elected, I remember going on Twitter and I was like, I hope I don't see nothing about this. And the first thing I see is a tweet from him. And it's like, yeah, we did it. Like, I'm like, fans is tweeting? Like, what?
It's like, this is new.
Yeah, like I wasn't used to having somebody that actually uses social media the way that
he does,
I use social media. So.
There's a lot of the people in those positions aren't either they have social media accounts because their campaign people are like, hey, you should probably do this, or their PR people were like, you need to be on this if you want to help sell tickets, whatever. But he's on it.
Yeah,
like me and you are on it.
100% of the time. I feel like he'd be. I know 100% he has a burner account.
Oh,
he's got a burner account. He gets on there. He retweets all the inappropriateness, the triple X, whatnot, all that. Just like one of our very
just like KD when he responded with the wrong account.
Oh yes, exactly.
He said Trump hasn't got caught yet. If he has, he probably does.
He probably got a professional that does it now at this point. Professional burner user.
Professional.
I want you to say this about these people.
That's funny because the media actually does that. There was the campaigns will email their respective news channels and be like, hey, message of the day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's wrong, as long as it's wrong how we tell you to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're good. And then you have people figure it out. Nobody trusts the news. Now you have news by Twitter.
Also, what I think is kind of crazy is like the stuff that he says. I think the reason why people don't take it so serious is because it's on Twitter. So like when he said the thing about like, oh, all the looters and the protesters need to be treated like looters and protesters, basically. Like, I feel like if he would have said that verbally, then people would have been like, whoa,
you start looting, we start shooting one. When he tweeted that, if he had said that in a speech to a crowd,
if you physically say something versus it's just like sending a text message.
Yeah,
when you're in an argument with somebody and you send all caps, whoop-de-doo, you know what I'm saying? They know you're upset, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you're texting me about it though. Yeah,
you're not calling me.
Yeah,
we're not talking about
versus like where you can actually hear inflection and different tones of voice and stuff like that.
Language.
Because I know 100% he would have been on some. I need to kill these looters right now. Versus,
there would have been a whole tension in the room.
They start looting, we start shooting. Like it's smooth when he's doing. It's like he's writing a verse for his rap. Like.
If he said that in person, there would have been a real big tension.
He would have got slapped on instinct. Like by the microphone. The microphone would have slapped him because it's like, what are you saying? Right
hand reached out to Mike.
Exactly.
Slapped the hand right off his head.
Because it's like you can get away with saying things on Twitter and on the internet and, through technology that you don't say out loud.
Yeah.
All the time. Makes sense.
Yeah. Right, Tony?
Yeah!
Yeah, man. I feel like that's a problem.
100% problem.
People stay behind their keyboards yelling at people, especially I know you and I know this when people get on Twitter and be like, so and so sucks at basketball, and they're in the NBA.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Do they really though?
People are adding grown men who spend their life chasing this one dream, and here you go, the guy that I played a little bit here and there in middle school, and
I can shoot better than you.
I played 2K all my life, so I decided I'm better than you.
Dude, there was an Italian soccer team. Some dude tweeted at one of their players that had missed a couple chances in a game, and so they invited the guy to come try and do those chances like in real life during halftime. So the stadium is full. Dude slips on the first one, completely misses the goal on the second one.
Oh no!
And I was like, LOL at you.
See,
he's like, those chances are so easy. It's like, are they though? Nah.
About to say,
nah.
They call you out to half court. It's a setup.
They gave him the whole uniform and everything.
Oh, it was a setup. They knew my man wasn't gonna make it.
Yeah, 100%. Still funny though.
Queen.
Yeah, man, it's a problem.
I'm on a podcast right now.
And this is why we have Jay on, everybody.
I'm on a podcast, guys. We're talking about important things.
All the important things.
This man Tony ain't worthy.
Tony should probably...
I should have brought Tony. He could have sat right here on my old lap. Yes, sir. Right on the old knee. Right next to Papa.
Next time, Tony, we'll bring you on, bro. For those of you who haven't caught it
we'll
yet,
do a father-son episode just for Tony.
For those of you who haven't caught it yet, Jay is on Instagram Live, helping us with some promotion.
Yeah.
Our man's Tony is on the other end, talking all sorts of crap.
_DATSJEY. This man Tony said, relax.
Social media is a weird thing. You can go on Instagram Live, reach whoever you want. Or whoever wants to watch, I guess. But
that's the thing that's so big in my class. So my class talks about how people kind of are viewed, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you make an Instagram, right?
Yeah.
When you first made it, you were just like, oh, I'm gonna put a picture up.
Yeah.
Then you kind of found your niche of what you wanted to upload photos.
Yeah.
And it'll change, you know what I'm saying, based on what's going on in your life. But that's what you want your audience to see. You don't post you don't see people posting pictures of what they look like when they first get up. What they're, them taking a shit. None of those things.
No.
You see people posting things like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like we were at Chipotle. You would see people be like, oh, Chipotle, yeah.
We're up with 18 filters on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Throw, show her this and that. Things like that, for instance, mine now, most of the time what I post is locations and stuff like that, because I'm always driving since I commute back and forth or whatever. Yeah. So now when people look at it, oh, he's always going somewhere. But that guy sure must travel a lot. And realistically, I go to work. I just happen to work in a city that ain't the place I live at. So
no, exactly. It's weird. You can portray whatever you want, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's most people, well, at least the people that I know, just try to stay mostly true to themselves.
Fact. That's why catfishing is real, even if you ain't catfishing. Catfishing is real, even if you ain't catfishing.
PSA, Jay Lewis, everybody. Catfishing is real, even if you're not. Don't let
them trick you out here.
Catfishing.
Unless they're going to give you a contract to hang out with Neve and Max. Get that money's worth.
Yeah, man, plenty. Well, because you post a lot of your photography stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
I never took down anything that I posted before I started doing photography. So everything that I took down some stuff, old high school photos.
Yeah.
Because it was glow up. But other than that, everything that's on there, I even still have old WCWs on there. That's how religious I am to let people know this is what
I didn't change it.
You get what you pay for.
So a lot of the pictures that you posted recently, especially the ones at the protest, I know I looked at those and I was like, one day you could see this in a textbook somewhere. But so you said lots of people were hitting you up about the pictures afterwards. I think we were talking earlier. I think you said a magazine.
Yeah, shout out to undefined magazines because they're pretty fire. They said that they would, wouldn't mind doing like collaborations and stuff like that whenever we all get a chance to settle down in this world that we're in. But for the most part, it's been like just like people, just individuals, just saying like, "Wow, these are powerful. Like this is that." There's a cartoonist that was like, "Man, like you did like you know what I'm saying? Like you went out of your way to go do this and this." And I guess he felt like what can I do to use my gift or what I know my niche to spread, you know what I'm saying? Like some kind of positivity or some kind of knowledge. And that's what I posted on Snapchat a while back, and I was like, if anyone has any like ideas or can storyboard, let me know, because there's a cartoonist that wants to.
I remember you posting that.
And Brandon Martin actually gave me an idea of like, there's like basically it was like I don't want to butcher it, Brandon, but I'm gonna try. It was like so it's like the apples are cops or whatever. And you know how it's like the one bad apple. Yeah, that whole thing. I don't know if I can go any further than that because that's about as all I got. As good as I got. That's as good as I got. This man Tony with the facts.
It's a start for sure. The apple thing. 100%. Is that what you set out to do though? To spread like the awareness or positivity?
So when I went out, I initially went out honestly with the intent to just absorb what was going on, and I take my camera places when I'm on foot because I like to see what's going on through that more than what I normally see. So I went out with the hopes to take pictures and have something, maybe even if it's not for like a history book or anything like that, just for my own purposes, because it's like if I have kids one day, I could say, hey, don't be a whack ass. Like, I did it. Yeah. You could do it. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's proof, basically. Proof of what really went down that day. And realistically, if you look at all the pictures, I don't see anyone looking mad. I don't see anyone looking upset. But yet I got tear gas. What the fuck?
I'd be mad if I got gas too.
Yeah, it was whack, and I took the little bro with me. Yeah, he was there. He was the one that saw the gas. Actually, it's crazy.
Got you up.
Yeah, he was. Tear gas.
Eyes burning and everything. You run out of there.
It's the worst feeling ever, dog. I haven't felt that since boot camp.
Since boot camp.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. So I'll have questions about boot camp later.
Oh yeah.
But so you said that when you view things through the camera, it's different than just everyday life. What's different about it?
It's like you can see the picture kind of, and that's kind of like since I started doing photography, what I see a lot of. So when I'm driving around, like even when I was on the way out here, like you just see things. It's kind of like you already took the picture. Yeah. Essentially, like you see the picture you want to take, and then realistically, the camera does it 10 times better than what you see half the time because you see the whole thing. Yeah. But the camera only sees what you pointed at. Yeah. So it's like it's the little big picture in the big picture.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way before. What got you into photography?
So growing up, I always kind of was like fascinated with how they did magazine photos and stuff like that. And I always used to be like, well, I have a camera. Why doesn't it look like a magazine when I get it printed out? I look shiny and shit. Yeah. So it was kind of like, I never really got into it like super hard because I was like, I guess that's something you got to go to school for to be able to do. And then I just never really cared. And then if you remember my freshman roommates, Antonio, Justin Devlin. Yep. Yeah, Devlin I think was the first one to have a camera. I can't remember which one of them had a camera first, but one of them had a camera. And then I was like, whoa, wait a second. Like flashback to childhood. Yeah. You can do this and not be, a professional. Yeah. And then, he's taking all these car pictures and all this crazy stuff. Tony's doing skateboarding and stuff like that. And I'm like, I want a camera. So one day I took like $200, bought like a Canon Rebel XS. Shout out to Canon. Yeah. Shout out to Canon for that one because that camera doesn't do anything but the bare minimum, no video. I don't even think that shit can. I don't even know what it can do. Honestly, it's so basic. But it was a good starter camera. I rocked that camera for like a cool, I want to say like a year and a half or something like that. Then I upgraded to the 32. Went from the 32 to the 56. 56 to the 75. Hey, I see you over there, girl. Looking all fine. But yeah.
Did you start doing stuff? Because before we got on, you got a call about doing a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start getting offers or calls for that, or when did you start trying to make that into a thing? Because I remember when we first met, you were just taking pictures for fun.
Yeah, when I first started, I just wanted to take pictures because I was like, realistically, I could take my own Instagram pictures and then I could be the cool one. But then I was like, at the same time, oh, people are making money off this. So
Yeah.
like, that's not bad. And then I think, I can't even remember who. Somebody asked me to do photos of their, I want to say their little cousin who just graduated. And I was like, all right, I'd never done a photo shoot before. I just shown up to places and take pictures of people, cannons and whatnot. So I just had him pose at a bunch of random. It's funny because he graduated and I had him take pictures at Mary Washington. So I did that and it came out good. He loved it. I think I made like $70. I was like, woohoo! Went straight to the ABC. Just kidding. No, I did. Yeah, definitely. I remember now. Yeah.
And then it kind of took off from there, I guess, didn't it?
Yeah, because after that, and the thing was, it was funny because I didn't even post those. I never posted those anywhere. They were never on Facebook, Twitter, nothing like that. I think after that, it was kind of more of a word of mouth thing. People just kind of did it. And it was actually more people outside of the school that kind of got me into it, making money than people at the school. So the first person that got me my first shoot was at the school. But then outside of that, I started working with musicians and stuff like that. Shout out to Twan and Manny and all those dudes, you know what I'm saying? And Shakur, y'all some real niggas. I mean, y'all know what I said. But nah, yeah, they were all making music and they would pay me to come to studio sessions with them. And
just to like document what they were doing.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it, you wouldn't even believe it. The studio, I don't know if you remember where KFC is near campus.
Yeah.
Like down the street from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
It's literally right behind that.
Is it really?
Kid you not. Whole studio.
That's crazy. Never knew that was there.
Whole studio. I would go there. I'd be there they would call me at like 10 o'clock at night and I'd stay there until like midnight, maybe 1.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was going to say, I got so cool with them at one point. I celebrated my birthday in the studio.
For real? That's awesome.
Yeah, they called me up. They still I still worked, but I mean, it was fun for me. Like, they called me up. They had me come through. They made a bunch of really, really good songs that day. I got my birthday licks, and they hit really hard for young men. But
they were in the lab cooking.
Oh yeah,
all sorts of good songs coming out. What is your favorite thing to take? Like, what's your favorite subject?
So I'd be having fun taking pictures of like, I guess like individuals, doesn't matter male or female.
Yeah.
But hoops lately has been the one because it's really hard to get a picture of somebody that ain't standing still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
someone that's not posing.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. I feel like it's hard to make someone look good if they're not trying to look good. So it's like, because I've done some of the runs for the varsity team at UW.
Yeah.
So like, once I did those, I was like, taking pictures of basketball. Why didn't I think of this before? I don't know, but I think sports now is my favorite because I didn't even start off taking pictures of basketball. I just started off taking pictures of rugby.
Rugby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were the school photographer for the rugby team. Those guys loved you.
Yeah.
Every time you posted something new, I knew exactly when you had been to a game because the next day I would see my entire Instagram would be rugby players with at Yam That's J at the bottom of it.
Yeah. Every rugby player was rocking a good old Yam That's J flick.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that?
That was probably the most fun. That was probably like the most like inclusive I've been as a photographer because it was like
with the team.
Yeah, because it was like I was a part of the team. Like they gave me, you know what I'm saying? They gave me shirts, stuff like that, gear. Like I was, one of them. Yeah. But I was just a guy that just showed up to take pictures. Hot as hell outside, but that's about it. Yeah. Other than that, I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't go out there and do no drills, but I thought it was super cool that like I could come out there and it's like you think about showing up to a practice where you don't know nobody as a player,
Yeah.
and you feel that tension kind of like, oh, the new dude.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's weird. It felt weird being, because it's like I played sports, but like to be on the other side, showing up to a practice where nobody knows me, and they were like, hey, what's up, man? Like, and I was like, whoa, like, no hostility. This is tough. This is dope. Like, everybody was super nice. Like,
yeah, I feel like that goes on a sport by sport basis, team by team basis.
I'm about to say every sport I've taken photos of, every place that I've been, it's like I could know absolutely nobody, and every single person will just be like, "Yo, man, did you get that?" Like,
yeah, because
what's your Instagram, bro? Like,
it's a different feeling because when you're playing sports, unless you at like a super high level, nobody takes pictures of you. And the people that do are like your mom when she stands on the sideline with her phone. It's a blurry picture, and you're like, "Oh, mom, come on, man."
And there's people out there that that I feel like are really good athletes, good sportsmen, whatever you want to call them. Like, and they don't get that exposure just because they don't go to a big school or they don't go to whatever the case is. But I be feeling like I could be that under that little guardian angel under their wings and whatnot.
Is that what you want to end up doing? Is that what you want to end up doing, or do you want to make that into a full time? Like, if you could do photography full time, would you?
My plan is to be able to open my own studio. I have one in my apartment now. It's actually my living room, but well, it was my living room. Yeah. Now it's the studio. But my hopes is to be able to have my own building, essentially, that I could turn into my own little studio and be able to work with whoever. Because it's like, I still like working with people that do music. I still like working with people that do fashion.
Right.
Shout out to Pride Love Code. And, I still love sports, but it's like, I ain't going to bring a whole basketball team into my building. But at the same time, I'm going to still do here. But the hopes is to be able to have my own studio and that be my main source of like income. But if not, not the way the cookie crumbles.
Hey, that'd be cool though.
That's the hopes.
That's Jay Studios.
See, I already see it. You don't even need to say studios. Jay's.
Can't do that.
Jay's, parentheses, not the bar. And it's spelled different, remember?
It is spelled different, yeah.
I'm going to have to sue y'all.
You can't sue them. It's a different spelling.
I'm going to change my name and sue y'all. Just kidding. I just y'all make some killer marijuana jokes.
Those liquid marijuanas are good.
Liquid marijuanas, go to Jay's. You can get them. Don't order if you're with Tony because they'll give you the baby glass. I'm sorry, Tony. They'll give you this is like glass. It's like this fucking big, like
for the whole drink.
Yeah, with ice cubes.
You get like,
and no if it's liquid. With ice cubes, that's like 2 drops.
Yeah, 2 drops of liquid. It's like when you get a bag of chips and it's all air.
Fact. Munchies.
It's the same thing.
Munchies. Y'all gotta stop doing that. Y'all be disrespectful. Come on now. Munchies potato chips.
This is Jay's platform. He can do whatever he wants here.
I'm just trying to let him know. Munchies be cheating y'all. I'm a boycott y'all next if y'all don't if y'all don't start putting some chips in that damn bag.
Did you so you were in the Navy, right, for 4 years?
I wish it was 4 years. It's like 3, yeah.
3 and some change.
Yeah.
Were you into the photography stuff then or no?
Nah, dog. I was a gun-ho basketball player. That's all I cared about. I wasn't even thinking about the camera.
Yeah.
I didn't even start thinking about like photos for real until after I had gotten out and I was looking for schools to go to.
When you were did you go to Navy for basketball?
That's what I was hoping. They tricked me. I went to I'll tell you the exact story. I go to the office, I sit down, I say, yo, I can ball. Sign me up. They're like, all right, we'll do that. Then next thing you know, I get on the bus and all that good stuff. I hop out on the bus. I got a duffel bag and I got a basketball. That's it.
That's all you need.
This very, very, very black and black complexion. I mean, just picture the Black Panther suit, but like that's someone's skin. That's how black we're talking. Like just black. And he just had red eyes and he was mad as hell. He was just like, where do you think you're going? And I was like, to the gym. He's like, yeah, right, nerd. Like, and I had skinny jeans on, so he's like, well, you got your sister's jeans on, son. I was like, what? So I think I played basketball a total of like 2 times while I was in boot camp, but I balled out. Either way, it was lit. But then I did some hooping all over, like the bases and stuff that I was at until I think my second, like halfway through my second year, I started going to open gyms for colleges, and that's where I met Coach Wood.
Coach Wood.
Coach Wood and Coach Pryor from Shenandoah. And they were like, yo, you're it, Chief. And I should have listened to Coach Pryor, but I listened to Coach Wood because Coach Wood was talking kind of nice. But Coach Wood, it was funny because Coach Wood was the one that talked to me out there, and then once I got to school, or not even got to school, when I called him back, like he gave me his number on the card or whatever. When I called him, it was like, "Hello, you've reached the office of Marcus Kahn," and I'm like, "Who the hell is this?"
The new coach.
But that's how I ended up at y'all's school.
So I want to go through kind of your experience in the Navy, kind of chronologically. So for those who don't know, and I also don't know, describe boot camp to the people that don't understand what y'all actually go through.
So, if you've been to boot camp since 2012, don't talk to me about nothing because you got that soft training, whatever. And I know I sound like them old rusty rust buckets that been in for like 50 years, but that's just how it is. So basically, when you first get there, right? You get there, you got the first uncomfortable moment that you have, which you will have a lot of them. The first uncomfortable moment, you are in a room, separated by gender, of course, with a bunch of people you've never even seen before in your life. You're separated from even the people that you rode on the plane with at this point. You are standing next to somebody completely different, and this guy's going to come out and he's going to say, all right, I need you guys to, there's a box in front of you. He's going to say, I need you guys to put everything you guys have in your pockets in the box. So you take everything out of your pockets, put it in the box. You're like, all right, cool, whatever. Then he's like, all right, you guys are going to get down to your undies and put your clothes in the box. So you're like, all right, cool, stuff's in the box. And they're like, drawers in the box too. Now you're just ass naked, you and like 50 other people. And you guys are just looking around like, so are we going to get clothes ever? Like,
or are we just going to stand here?
Yeah, they issue you your tighty whities and your running shoes, and that's all you see for, I want to say like a cool like couple weeks until they, get you fitted for your first uniform and whatnot. Get your uniform. By then, I would hope you had made friends. You start to realize you're not going to talk to anyone by their first name anymore. Like, Jay wasn't even an option. Lewis. Yeah, it's strictly, the people still call me Lewis to this day. So, because once you know the people that you met in boot camp, you know them for a long period of time. You know their first name, but it's like that's what you know them as.
Yeah.
So, you go through that, and then I think you stay awake for 24 straight hours. It's either 24 or 48 straight hours. I can't remember which one it is, but
like 48. Is it Buds? They make you do it for like a week with like a 3-hour nap.
Nah, there's no. You can take a nap, but if you're caught, it's wraps. Because this is when you first get there. When you first get there, it's usually like the middle of the night. You stay awake all through that night, and you stay awake all the next night. And then they let you go to sleep. It's so horrible. By the time you actually go to sleep, you don't even know if you actually got enough sleep.
Wow.
Yeah. You think you'll have slept for like 10 days.
That'd be
might be like an hour.
Double all-nighters in college.
I want to say, I think the coolest part for me in my experience with boot camp was just kind of like, people I think would expect boot camp to be kind of like, it's supposed to be, it's the military. It's supposed to be this really uniform thing, but it's really a bunch of ragtag street kids that haven't got busted or don't have any I want to say like charges and stuff like that. So it's like, they can go. Not to say every single person is like that, but for the most part, a lot of people, that's their option to put food on the table for their families or whatever the case is, just because of how they were brought up or what their
the background is.
Yeah. So it's like, when I got there, I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna be the hood rat of the group. I fit right on in. Now, we had it set up, we had Crenshaw and then we had Beverly Hills in our compartment. So, Crenshaw was where all the, I guess you would call them like the inner city, the black, all the minorities was in Crenshaw, which was the right side, the darkest part of the compartment because there was a light out, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Then on the other side, that's where Beverly Hills was. That's where all the sedity motherfuckers was. It was like, we don't want to hang out at nighttime because that's against the rules. Like, so it's like you had this, you had that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's funny because I looked at boot camp as pretty much like jail or prison. It's a bunch of dudes working out all the time.
Yeah.
Talking about what they're gonna do when they get out, writing letters, receiving letters. Most of the time, what's in those letters? Pictures of their women, which they do odd things to, I'm sure.
Probably.
Because they do issue you a bottle of lotion there, so. But, like, that's all it was. It was just literally like, we were attempting to learn during the day, and then at night, we were like wild animals that were just kind of like, just how you would see in the movies, like, how Toy Story is, when the kids there, they're just regular toys, but then when they're gone, they wild out. Like, that's literally all boot camp was.
Yeah.
Like, if I had $1 for every time we did something wild, like, so at night, it's not dark like how it is like in your house.
Yeah.
There's a red light that's on consistently the whole time. And so you can see for the most part. I was caught dancing in the middle all the time with my boots on. You're never supposed to wear your boots. Like,
why?
Because I mean, like, you're supposed to shine them, keep them nice and stuff like that. I used to be dancing, gliding around the floor like I was Marcus Houston and you got served. But I mean, hey, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Who's this? Hi.
You said you got tear gas while you were at boot camp.
Yeah. So they tell you 1%. There's 1% of people that are immune. I was standing right next to the fan, and I was like, I remember. So you're supposed to. So you're given a gas mask, right? So they crack the pill or whatever. I might be remembering this wrong, but for the most part, they crack the pill with the gas mask so that you know what it's like, and you know that it works.
Yeah.
Then you're supposed to take a bunch of deep breaths and be like, oh, okay, this works.
Yeah.
Then you have to take that bad boy off like this, and you have to hold right here, and then you're supposed to say your first name, last name, social, and something else, something crazy. But you do that, and whew, I thought I was one of those 1%ers, right? Because I start saying my first name, which is only 5 letters. So I make it to the V, I think, in my name. An immediate throw up.
Just throw up?
Just threw up. Throw up, snot, eye boogers, I guess. If eyes had boogers.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Like, and they take pictures of you, too, when you run out at the end. And they show them on a slideshow, even though you can't see them because you're still blinded from tear gas.
Why do they do that? Why do they gas you?
So that you're comfortable and you know that the gas mask works. Because there's some people that truly don't believe that, like, things like gas masks and stuff like that.
So it's really to show that it works if you were ever in a situation.
Yeah, because everyone's job is different. I mean, in boot camp, you don't really have a job. But once you get out, to the fleet, you're supposed to, do whatever it is that you're specifically trying to do. So if you're going to be out there with tear gases, they want to let you know that
it works.
Yeah, your government issued joint is going to be.
It's going to work.
Okay. Except for apparently 3M. Y'all messed up with those earplugs.
So, after you get out, what was the job they gave you, or the MOS they gave you?
So I was a medic. Yeah, I was real lit. I was a quad zero medic. That meant I had no specialty. I was just a regular medic. I mean, I could do blood draws, whatever, work in the clinic, all that good stuff. But I actually got out and I went to Portsmouth, Virginia. Well, I went and did my training in San Antonio.
Right.
Stayed there, played immaculate time, thought it was great. Then I went to Portsmouth, Virginia. I worked in Portsmouth Naval Hospital or Navy Medical Center, Portsmouth. Gotcha. But so I worked there, and I actually worked in the psych ward for my entire time there, for the most part. I did some tours here and there in other places, but my main job was psych.
How was that? You probably met some interesting people.
I got body slammed by a SEAL once. It was lit.
That sounds like a story to tell.
They didn't tell. So every morning they tell you, they give you, I forgot what it's called exactly, but they give you like the nurse's notes and stuff about the patients, basically giving you an update on what's supposed to be going on and all that good stuff.
Right.
So then I'm, minding my business, and then I had an appointment that day, so that's why I wasn't there at the beginning where they were supposed to be giving the nurses notes. So I'm minding my business. I come upstairs thinking that, we got some, normal patients up here, and they're like, oh, you've been assigned so-and-so, so-and-so. I'm like, go tap them on the shoulder. Come to find out, that's a quick trigger. Wow, come here, kid. Like, I've seen many takedowns, like, all kinds of just interesting things.
What are they in there for, mostly?
So with the military, specifically in that environment, you had two sides. So you had, I don't even remember what the letters were, honestly. It's like 5F and, I think it's 5F and 5E. But you have two sides, basically. You have behavioral, and then you have, like, alcohol and drug abuse side. So typically, if you were on the alcohol and drug abuse, if you were actually there for drugs, most of the time you were probably getting kicked out. You were like abusing something that you shouldn't have been. Right. Like, if you were there for like weed, 9 times out of 10 you're getting kicked out. Yeah. But most of the time it would just be like people just with alcohol, just issues and shit. Like, I drank too much because I'm upset about this. I drank too much because I'm upset about that. Stuff that you would expect people to be upset about. And then there would be the behavioral side, which was a little bit more complex than that, because that's when you're looking at actual, you know what I'm saying, like disorders. And you're looking at all kinds of things happening over there. Like,
which side were you on when you got
so I started off the easier side that they normally start you off with the training is the alcohol side, because most of the patients there are there for like a weekend or something. Like their chain of command caught them drunk, so they sent them there instead of actually punishing them. So here, you want to drink your weekend, spend it in the psych ward type thing. So, you come up to us and you wear pajamas and get 3 square meals a day and we kick you out. Like, other than that, like, oh, you don't get a TV in your room. But there's that. But the behavioral side, that's where you have, like, I don't even, how many years has it been? Oh, I can say it now. HIPAA tricks. So, we had a cat that jumped, didn't say his name, had a cat that jumped the White House gate and started doing push-ups in the middle of the front lawn. Yeah, kid you not.
I want to ask why. But I feel like there's not a reason.
He said he wanted to talk to Obama. I mean, if there's one way to get his attention, that's one.
That is definitely
to just get over there and just start hitting push-ups. And the dude's pretty young, so I'm sure they were really good form push-ups. It's just like
that's what's important.
Like, could you have not
called
ahead?
So the Secret Service takes him down and sends him back to you guys.
I'm not even like, I know Secret Service was a part of it. I thought I was going to see a Secret Service dude, and I was so excited that day. Like, I was like, oh, dude, Secret Service is going to be here. Like, I hope they give me their little headphone thing. It's like I talked to Obama myself when he did. But like, I ended up not even being there. I went to lunch, and I was like, all right, this is taking too long. Like, I'm over it. Like, bring this guy in. They brought him in. He was definitely like confined up. He had the jacket on and everything.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he got a. So they have this thing called the cocktail. I always forget what's exactly in it, but they call it the cocktail because it will it'll do you in every time. If you take one of those and still are moving around, something's actually wrong with
you. A bunch of just drugs that they
it's like a sedative type deal or whatever, but it slows you down for a little bit, and then next thing you know, you're just like
you're sleepy, and then you're not.
Yeah. That dude was like quoting scripture and. I was like, this is some exorcist stuff. Like, there was plenty of times where, like, I genuinely thought that, like, I shouldn't be up here anymore because it's, like, it's starting to get a little too weird. It was in my head a little bit. Like, didn't like it.
Are there other stories that you can't tell, or no?
I had a patient threaten to kill me once to the point where it was like I actually felt threatened. Because it was like I had got on like kind of like a level with her that I felt that we could communicate, and it was cool. And then I just remember like she said it, but it was like I feel like I don't want to say like I got superpowers, I could see things in people, but it was just like the way she said it, and the look she had in her eyes, it just seemed too genuine. And I was just like, I just remember calling. I think I was like 20 years old. I called my mom. I was like, yo, this bitch says she's gonna fucking kill me, mom. Like, my mom's like, what bitch? Who gonna kill you? My mom's like on go, like who I gotta come up there and put the hands on now. Like, but they ended up like moving her. I actually didn't come into work for I think 3 days after that because I was just like really. I felt like it was either because I was sleep deprived because I was working the night shift when that happened, so that's 12 hours through the night instead of during the day. So I didn't know if I was just like feeling some type of way about it because I hadn't slept. So I was just like, I need to get these 3 days and just get my mind right. But there's that, and then there was the fucking officer who jumped on me butt naked, and so like it's just like being like a CO in a prison. You can't really, like, you can interact with these people, you know, they're not like animals or something. You can talk to them like normal human beings. I mean, that's what I think. So, you know, I would try and interact without, you know, breaking the boundary of me supposing to, you know, keep order within the ward. So, this lady goes, she takes a shower, right? So I have to go, so every hour you're supposed to go around and make sure everyone's doing okay. You know, nobody's stolen a fork and, you know, or anything crazy. It was fighting or anything like that. So you just go around to the rooms. If you can see the people, you know, you check them off. If they're in their room sleep, you check them off. If they're in their bathroom, you know, you just give them a quick knock on the door. Hey, you good? So as long as they respond, you're good. So this lady goes in the bathroom. She comes back out. And I'm like, all right, she should be straight, right? So she comes out. She's in her towel. Cool. So she closes the door. I'm like, she should be good. Next thing you know, I'm walking, and everyone. So the nursing station's like to my left. So I'm looking in the rooms. Check. I think I made it like 4 rooms down. And I look over, and everyone's got this look on their face, like, so annoying. What the hell are y'all looking at? Like, did I rip my pants in the back? Because I used to wear some pretty funny draws back then. So I don't know, like. The next thing you know, I just feel just water. I had an afro at the time, so I just feel water seeping through my little turtle shell up there. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This woman is standing over me, butt ass naked, and then she just jumps on me. And the first thing in my head is I'm freaking out because it's like you're thinking about a person you've never met before like that. You don't know her. And she's butt naked. And not only is she butt naked, she's on you. And not only that, you're at work. So it's weird because you're at work and there's a butt naked person on you. You're not even supposed to even see that they're naked. You know what I'm saying? There's all these rules and stuff. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, do I hit her? Do I touch her? Like, what happened? Like, I don't want to hit her. And then, like, next thing you know, like, oh, man, I accidentally grabbed a nipple. Like,
and then you're sued. And
next thing you know, like, I'm out back steakhouse, and it's just not it, chief. Like, then they ended up, like, getting a bunch of, like, old lady nurses to, like, wrangle this wet woman. And that wasn't a pun. Think about it.
That's
hey,
wild.
it's Justin Devlin!
That's wild, dude.
I just shouted you on a podcast, Justin.
Yeah, Justin's here.
I love you,
Car
Justin.
pictures are dope.
Justin Devlin, the greatest car picture taker ever in the entire world.
So after the psych ward, then where'd you go?
So after the psych ward, I did like some little stuff. Like I did this like behavior class thing or whatever, because it was like, so that's what I want to say. So for the military, every person in the military, just because the military is just like the regular world. There's still bad people and there's still good people. Just because they have a uniform on does not mean everyone is good. So with that being said, I actually got in a lot of trouble for being the same kind of person that you know today. It's the same person I've always been. And there was a chief that did not like that. And she used to make it her mission to make my life super duper hard. That's why I was on those night shifts. So I would, do things. I would talk to patients, whatever, blah, blah, and I would always get great reviews, this, and that. But she did not like it whatsoever. She thought the way that I handled myself, the way I carried myself, the way I talked to people, the way I talk in general, was not it. She's like, you shouldn't be saying random words in places
don't exist.
Yeah, you shouldn't be making up words for things that should have regular words. Which I'm like,
super for this.
Yeah, like
word of the day.
What the finnuck?
Yeah.
Think about it. So like, she sent me to this behavioral class thing. It was in Oceana. I'll never forget it. It was whack. Dumb whack. Stupid whack. The only cool part about it was I was working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So I would have to wake up and drive 30 minutes every morning to go to a whole other base just so they could tell me how to act in a uniform. And the funny thing was, when I got there and told them what I did, they were like,
why are you here?
Exactly. So, if you want to know what I did, here's what it is. I got in trouble for a HIPAA violation on my own paperwork.
For those listening that don't know what HIPAA is.
Oh my goodness.
What is it? For those
it's like the things that you're not, like, you can't, patient confidentiality and stuff like that. You're not supposed to give away anybody's, information. You're not supposed to show anybody but it was mine. I got in trouble for making a copy of my own shaved shit. So basically, when I was in, I didn't have to shave. Like as you see, I don't grow like a crazy beard or anything like that. So whenever I do shave, I break out like in certain spots. So they were like, "Oh, well, because you break out, you don't have to shave." But, so we'll do it. So I would have one, and I always was like, "Well, instead of me having just this one, why don't I make a copy so I can have one in case I lose the other one?"
Yeah.
Made a copy. Someone else got their hands on it. Decided they were going to change things around.
And you got in trouble.
I got in trouble.
Wow. That's crazy.
And I was like, Chief, stop it. She even volunteered. It was so bad. This is the kind of people that exist in this world. I did not want to work for her whatsoever.
Yeah.
That is why I got out of the military early. I was supposed to stay a whole 5. I left early because this woman would not let me go anywhere else. I was like, I want to go to...
Oh, so you were there until you were out?
I stayed in the same duty station until I was out. She was the last chief to show up, and she kept me there the whole time.
Wow. So you didn't get to experience anything.
Didn't even get to go have... All the stuff that I volunteered for, she would take my paperwork out of there. Every time. She would know where it was getting sent. Take it.
Wow.
Or if she knew, she would be like, oh, I was restricted to the base. I got my money cut in half. They have like a thing where you can get half month's pay. I did that like 5 fucking times. Like,
why?
Because they were just because they kept getting me in trouble. Like, so I was just like, all right, well, the more trouble I get in, the less money I get, I guess, whatever. Like, I was restricted to the base. That was the corniest one. I had to show up to. I would have to show up to 3 different like formations, basically, with other like. They call them shit bags. Yeah. So with other like-minded shit bags like myself, and I would just have to, show up I think it was like 3 times, and then also you have to come clean up the base at like 4 o'clock or some dumb shit like that.
That would be so unfortunate.
It was, but at the same time, I used to finesse that because the gym used to be popping about like 4 or 5 o'clock.
Oh,
so I used to just slide out. Like I used to go down there about 3. Pick up like 2 pieces of trash and then
just hoop.
Yeah. Hit him with the deuces. Get out of here. Didn't have time for that.
Was transition into like from the military into school, was that hard or not really?
From military to school, the classes were mad boring.
Yeah.
Like classes in the military, it was like you were afraid to fall asleep in their class. If anyone knows Professor Mangum at University of Mary Washington, the man with the beekeeper hat.
Yep.
I slept in that man's class every day.
That man, every example he had was about bees.
Yo, that man, could sing me a lullaby any day because that man know how to put somebody to sleep.
That's for
I
sure.
swear to God, I have never slept so good as I slept in that man's class. And it didn't matter how I slept. I used to go in that joint the same way I had that joint 8 a.m. I would go in that joint, the joint in Trinkle with all the bookcases in the back.
Yeah.
I would go right there. I would go in the back corner seat when you first walk into the left. I would go to the very back, put that UMW, just with the big UMW hood on. Knocked out. That man could put somebody to sleep, Chief. I swear. That dude. Mm-mm.
That's nutty. So how was it different from the military classes?
It was. I just feel like because it was like I didn't have that. Like that fear of I'm gonna get yelled at if I don't pass this class. So it was kind of like I just wasn't as pressed to I guess be stressed out about like school. And then like I think also because like with the military, it's kind of like you went to school and then you just did everything else after that.
Yeah.
Like, they just expect you to know it.
Yeah.
Versus, school, you just keep going.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is hard. But I was like, I'm just here to play the basketball.
And then that didn't even work out.
I know, right?
That's unfortunate.
But but that team would have been lit though. I don't care what anybody says. That would have been the best UMW team, hands down. Okay, not hands down.
Maybe
there's still that Dylan Fairman.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that kid.
That Elite 8 team.
Dog, that dude is scary.
Yeah.
Dylan, I'm scared of you. I will admit it. You are a scary man. You're like Wolverine, but blonde. Like, can you picture a blonde Wolverine?
I mean, he would be it, for sure.
That's sexy scary.
We'd be hooping with him, and people twice his size would get mad at him, and he would not back down. Dude was probably, 6 foot?
He was 6'1"? 6 foot post player.
He played in the post against people like 6'7". Throwing elbows. You try to guard him in the post, you can catch an elbow in the chest.
You can't fool with that guy.
Nah. That's nuts. The hoops were fun, though.
Oh my
God. Once we actually got there, I feel like you, Loki, had a better time that you did on
my first. So yeah, when I first got there, I didn't play basketball for like a couple days.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even go. Like I went to the gym, of course, go talk to Con, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think I took like one shot in between the time you guys first saw me come in there.
Yeah.
That was my first time even going in Brewery. Didn't even know it existed.
For real?
No, yeah, because he showed me just Anderson. And
Mm-hmm.
that was it. Because I think they were doing something in Brewery the day that I did my visit, so I couldn't even see Brewery like that. But I remember, when I came in there, I was like, all right, let's see what's going on in here. And I remember y'all were like balling out, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be fun. And then look at that,
all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I came in there, and I remember I was like Will's son or something. I was like, can we go back, please? I want to go back and do some more.
I want to go back and hoop. Yeah, I remember when you first came in, I think Will introduced me to you, and he's like, yeah, he played basketball in the Navy. He's here to like hoop at UMW. And we were all like, Jay's here. And then it didn't work out with the team. And then you just became like, every hoop session, you were the guy that was there all the time.
I was just the guy that would show up. And I was hyped for that because I was like, I could be this.
Yeah. I mean, that was the role that you embraced.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, then Whatchamacallit was always trying to get me to come to the club team anyway. Josh and Aaron Cowman.
Yeah.
Aaron was like, dude, you gotta come. Because I was like, even though Aaron was like, Aaron's like 2 years younger than me, I was like, yo, kid knows his stuff. Like,
yeah, he does.
He's definitely a good coach, and he knows how to talk to me specifically. Like, and then I remember Josh used to be like, man, you don't want to play for UMW. Like, you want to play for the club.
Josh Jones?
Yeah, he's like, you want to play for the club. I'm like,
it's way more fun.
I mean, my first tournament was lit, even though I got hurt immediately.
Those tournaments were fun. I only went to
I think it was the Maryland tournament. That was my first one, my first joint. Mm-hmm. But then after that, that's when I was like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's put up 30.
Dude, they were fun. we would just joke around the whole time. Remember the Mason tournament, and one of the Richmond ones. Those were fun.
Oh my gosh!
The car rides up.
The U of R tournament was probably my favorite one when I went full Steph Curry mode for like 5 seconds and was throwing up anything, and that joint was going in.
That was fun, dude.
That was lit.
I've been throwing stuff up like 5 feet behind the 3-point line.
Hey, my philosophy: no shots a back shot that goes in.
Yeah, for sure.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so
you don't make.
Yeah.
And you don't make.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, Bobby.
100% of the shots you don't make. Yes, definitely shout out Big Bob.
Good times. It's translated onto 2K. That's all we do now. Just talk trash.
Yeah.
Whether it's virtual hoops or real hoops.
Well, I said, I'm a 2K'er until I can get back in the group with the real world.
I mean, we're going back. Hopefully we'll get a workout in after this.
I'm sure that's the hopes.
Yeah, we'll find the core. We'll get something.
Don't call
So, want to bring it back to the protest just for a little.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to, because I know plenty of people that are like, yeah, I support this, but they didn't want to go. What made you decide to go in the capacity you went? Was it you wanted to get pictures, you want to support, all of the above?
I was
like, what was the
scared
of
the picture part.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if my camera gets broken, I'll be so pissed. Because I was like, I don't know how they're going to act. Like, I had only seen, so I had seen what happened the night before.
Mm-hmm.
The night before. So my brother texts me and says, I want to go to the protest.
Yeah.
But he had just got off work.
Yeah.
He's 17. He gets off at midnight. And then this was the same time that they had set the transit bus on fire in downtown. Yeah. So, luckily, I had looked at it before I had, either agreed or not agreed to take him. I looked at, some Snap stories, and I was like, whoa, people are setting things on fire. I was like, nah, I'm not taking him out there for that. So I was like, I told him, I'll take you out there, but it's
daytime.
Daytime is more appropriate, I guess, and it's a little bit more peaceful than what's going on in the middle of the night because I can't keep up with it and stuff. So me, my brother Colin, my friend Frankie, who's actually white, and my brother Reek, we all hop in the car and we decide we're going to go down to downtown. We throw our all black on, red and rags, of course, because the color is there.
Yeah.
And we go to downtown, we get on Monument Ave. At first we're like, I think because we had saw Josh Fox was coming. Yeah. And Josh Fox reached out to me. Him, CJ, Brandon, Martin, they all reached out. And like, hey, we're going to be in downtown, so if you're there, march with us or whatever, we'll see you there. So, I think I was texting him as I was getting up there. So I was on Monument Ave, and I'm like, well, damn, they said they were on Monument Ave. I'm looking all over the place, like, what the hell? We're in, the dead center of it, close to the Robert E. Lee statue. Right. And they're, all the way down there. So we basically beat them to the spot that they were coming to. So if you remember the photo that I have of the police officer sitting on the motorcycle, that was us walking down to meet everyone that was coming. Okay. So we got to see the there was people on bikes, with cameras, in front of them. Yeah. Catching everybody. And then just swarm of people just marched. But they just kept marching and marching. And at first I was like, this doesn't seem that bad. This doesn't seem, like something where there should be a problem. It was just people, people, chanting and marching. That's it. Yeah. And realistically, I had never seen so much togetherness, in my actual view ever. So we're talking about people pulling up to you in their car. Oh, you got water, you got this and this, which you should be careful because they can still be putting things in the water. Yeah. But it's just the fact that they would go out their way to pull over to poison you is still thankful. So it's just a little interesting. But it's all those people were doing all these things, you know what I'm saying? There was people, when the tear gas happened, there was a person telling people, please, come inside. Me and my brother were, running, side by side, just running. And this lady sees us, and she's like, oh, come inside. So we tried to go inside, but there was so many people packing into her house We just grabbed some milk, poured it, like flushed our eyes out,
Yeah.
kept running. The next lady we stop at, she's like, "Come inside, come inside, come inside." We're like, yeah, where do we go? Like, because it's, I mean, like, it was just really cool though that it was like people that weren't even actually at the physical protest, but they were seeing people that were coming from it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you need a place to sit down, like, so that you're not considered like, you know, a protester?
Yeah.
Like, people willing to let you. So because it's like, you know, stoops and stuff like that, people let you jump over their gate and sit on
the stoop.
yeah, sit on the stoop and be considered like they'll go, yeah, they'll actually go inside and make it seem like you live there. So then there was also people sitting on their stoop that weren't so nice.
Yeah,
there was a lady that was smoking a cigar. We know where you live. I'm splitting, but actually we know where you live. Yeah, there was a lady smoking a cigar and. Shout out to that one girl. I don't know if her name was Sophia or what, but you was alright and all that. But she basically was like, this lady was smoking a cigar, just like. But I felt like it was kind of odd that she was just smoking a cigar randomly.
Yeah.
She was literally celebrating the tear gas that happened. The girl screams out. She's like, why are you just sitting there? People are getting tear gas. Because there was people next door to her that were like, oh, you guys can come in. Milk, water, oh, God, random things. And next thing you know, the lady is like, oh. Like, she just laughed at me, scoffed, whatever you want to call it. And the girl just, like, jumps the gate. She's like, I'll fuck you up. Like, she's like, yeah, I'll beat your ass. Like, yeah. Like, they're, like, yelling at each other.
Jeez.
Then she, like, slaps the cigar out of her hand. And I was like, nice. But people were like, it was bad and good. Like, after the tear gas, I feel like it made it a lot more hostile. The city was 100% more hostile the rest of the day.
Sure. I mean, there's no trust if
the people that weren't a part of the protest were heckling the people that were in the protest. The people that were getting heckled were feeling like, oh, every person that's not a part of the protest must hate us.
Yeah.
So then they were, you know, lashing out because they were already getting, you know, people were throwing things at them, you know, all this extra, you know, things going on, and then, you know, people are only going to take but so much, and they're going to start snapping on you.
Yeah.
Like, so people are, people saying things under their breath as they're walking by. People are, you know, getting into little squabbles on the street, and I'm like, it was a world star moment literally every 2 blocks.
And that was when you decided you were out.
Yeah, the day I decided I wanted to go somewhere, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
But and then the thing was I went out there because, like I said, I just wanted to. I wanted to be able to say that I stood up for something, especially when it comes to my own people. And then on top of that, my little brother asked me basically, "Oh, you know, will you take me?" And I'm like, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna take you, young man, and then not take me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then the fact that he wants to be a part of something and stand up for something, I don't know if that's what he wants to do, but I mean, if that's what he wants to do, you know,
that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, you know, that's his thing. Maybe he wants to be. I heard him the other night, and you ain't about the culture. You ain't about the culture. And I'm like, okay, relax. Like, so I mean, you know, I think it's good. You know, he's only 17.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that, you know, he can be in high school and still realize like the magnitude of just being somewhere is important.
Definitely.
And like some of his friends who, like, I also know because of like their older siblings. Like some of his friends reached out to me, "Oh, can I ride with you guys?" And I was like, as much as I wanted to take y'all, I'm so sorry I didn't take y'all, but thank God I didn't take y'all because y'all's moms are scary and don't have time. So, because my mom was already on my case because of the whole tear gas thing.
Yeah, even my mom, when like I went to one here, it's like nothing's gonna happen here. She was like, "Why are you going? Like, be safe and all this." I'm like, "Mom, it'll be fine. Even if something happens, I'm probably faster than the majority of the people who are there."
Yeah, if you're faster than the first group, you're good.
Yeah. So, but no, I feel like everybody's mom are like, they're just worried, honestly. You're their little kid. They don't want you to get hurt. Yeah. Even if you're going out to support something that like is a good.
Yeah, because it's like, I see the views that some of the parents and older generation have, where they're kind of like, you know, because you don't really see a lot of parents out there. I mean, you do, but you don't.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I understand where they're coming from. You know, they've already been through this once
Mm-hmm.
type deal, and I'm not saying they're too good to go through it again, but it's they basically earned their stripes as far as marching and protesting and stuff like that. Most of our parents were alive during the time periods where shit wasn't the same. Like it really wasn't the same. Like so, I don't expect my mom and dad to be out there, fists in the air.
Yeah,
I know my pops ain't taking no knee. Not to say he would. Not to say he wouldn't. He can't. If you think I got bad knees, look at my face because y'all know me. Then you should know that man got worse ones.
That's crazy.
He got knees like George Washington got teeth. Think about it. Wood.
That's great. And that's good that your brother wants to go, as long as he's staying level-headed and on track.
I mean, and that's what I try and explain to him. So I always promote that. Like I was never about the looting. Like I make jokes about looting and stuff like that because that's just.
Well, you make jokes about everything.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say I joke about everything, but and they're like with a lot of people, they're you support the looting and da 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 and this and this rah 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 rah. I don't support looting. Yeah. I do understand the looting though. That's the one thing I will make unbelievably clear. I understand the looting. I do not support, but I understand. Yeah. But so many people were just kind of like really gung-ho about the whole like, oh, well, you can't be supporting the protest and the protesters supporting looting. And I'm like, nah, fam, think about it. It was people that was going to steal
anyways
before we was on quarantine.
Yeah.
Now we got people outside. So that means people go start stealing again.
Yeah.
You close the door, they broke the door.
Pretty much open and shut right there.
I don't know what else you want from people. We have criminals. We have, not criminals.
Yeah.
Criminals gonna see a chance to come out and do some bad things.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. Especially if the opportunity is there, the chaos is there.
I mean,
they're not gonna get caught.
Even though we saw like so many videos, and that's like another cool thing about social media, being able to see all these videos from different angles.
Yeah.
Of people that look really suspect doing the like during these whole like protests, like the Target thing. Like I was like, yo, who's my man's with the pizza box? Like,
yeah, people were going in and grabbing like all sorts of random stuff. I saw a pizza box. Somebody grabbed like a scooter and like right out of
the lady in the wheelchair
that was stabbing people. That video was the craziest video I ever seen.
Ma'am,
when you sent it to me,
I
lost my
do
mind.
not feel bad for you right now.
Nah.
I said it. I don't. You trying to stab people. Lucky they push you out the chair.
That was the craziest thing. When you sent that to me, you're like, she's stabbing people. I was like, she's in a wheelchair. What do you mean she's stabbing people? How's she moving around? And I saw somebody go by her and I saw the knife.
Yeah, she's
like... I was like, somebody better push her out of the wheelchair.
What I will say, the people that left her in charge of that back door, you're going to hell.
What? That's a weird thing about being in charge of
Who puts the lady in the wheelchair at the back door?
I want to say about something about being in charge of people, because I was going to say this on an episode with Jason, but I didn't get a chance to. The whole Breonna Taylor thing, that was messed up on so many levels. The guy they wanted was already in jail. They went to the wrong address, and then they pulled the trigger. So who, like from being in the military, somebody's got to approve the mission, right? Mm-hmm. So like,
it's a whole chain of command.
I don't see anyone calling for their arrests. It's just the three officers, and I don't know who pulled the trigger, which of the three, or if all three did. Mm-hmm. But if somebody's there because he's following orders and he didn't pull the trigger, it's like, should he be arrested? Somebody sent him to the wrong place.
That's interesting.
And so, when I was talking to you about your brother being level-headed, it's like, obviously not everything is like that complex, but at the same time, it's like, think, like, don't just shout the headline that you see. Because when you look at that case, it's like somebody had to, like, did those three officers just pick the wrong house on purpose? Like, I would very much doubt that she was an intentional target. So so somebody told them to go there because that's how right in the military, so it's something. Hey, you got to go here. Okay,
Yeah,
so
like,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
go
because
there.
I'm sure they're given like, you know, an address or, you know, orders to go to wherever, directions to go to wherever.
They're probably given an
location,
address and a picture of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to the place. They think is I don't even know what the original guy was in jail for.
I don't either.
But they have the picture. They break into the house. Break in illegal anyways, but for cops it's legal apparently. They get in. They go into the house. Her boyfriend, I guess, started to shoot at them because they were breaking in. He didn't know who it was, and so they pulled the trigger. And all that happens like that. But if one of the cops doesn't pull the trigger, should he be arrested? In my opinion, no, because what chance do you have to stop the other two from pulling the trigger? You know, like from training. I'm sure you know from training in different scenarios when things happen.
I see exactly
so fast.
what you mean, because it's kind of like with situations like that. It kind of, and it's funny because I'm gonna relate it to a show that is just like something completely different, but like it's kind of like I was watching Orange Is the New Black, and it was like he told one of the CEOs to do something, and it attempted to get done, but clearly not correctly.
Right.
Like they were supposed to be, I think they were supposed to be like bringing in like a new person or whatever the case was, blah blah blah, and it didn't get done correctly, and it's just like, so who's really, you know what I'm saying, like at fault? Is it the guy that's at the tippy top that gave the order that didn't make sure that the order was enforced correctly,
or that the order
or
was
the people
correct
that
in the first place?
that carried out the order?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I totally understand the whole, you know, following orders. Don't think y'all got off easy. I understand following orders, but it's just like you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's on. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's on both parties, because somebody didn't do the research to be like, is that even her address?
Mm-hmm.
Is that guy already been arrested? No. How nobody thought to do that?
Yeah.
Because to me, the fact that she was an intentional target is like, I feel like that's not. I mean, I don't know, but also like that wouldn't make sense.
I don't know.
So somebody botched up the address, botched up the fact that the dude was already in jail, and then sent the officers there. So it's like you have the officers that are following incorrect orders, and then they act incorrectly already. So it's one of those things where, like, in a court of law, you know, people were talking about how Chauvin should be charged with first-degree murder, and then people were like, don't do that because then they wouldn't have enough evidence to find him guilty of first-degree. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. It's like you want justice to be served properly, but at the same time, you don't want to be calling for stuff that they didn't do. So if you try to charge all three of them with murder, and two of them didn't even shoot, they're not going to go to jail because they didn't murder anybody. It's like, and then it's like what holds up in the court.
And it gets so slippery when
exactly.
It gets really slippery when it has
one.
that when you have all those different aspects in it, because
it's
so many people that, because you don't know what's going through. I think that's the worst part about all of these things is you don't know what's going through the heads of these individuals when these things are happening.
Yep.
Like, granted, Mr. Officer that put the knee on my man's neck, your thought process is not valid, sir. You're Outback Steakhouse. You're cut.
Or he didn't even.
You're cut,
Dude,
brother.
that's such a serious thing, and you made it
I
could not smile when I feel bad. Smiling, but like,
let's call a spade a spade. That dude fucked up.
His brain either didn't work or just isn't working. That dude should be in jail for the rest of his life. That dude should be in jail for the rest of his life.
I mean, yeah, dog,
for
like,
sure.
all of these things that. Before I even talk about the people that should be in jail, you people. Yeah, I said you people. Because I'm going to stereotype all of you people who are on this back the blue. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You sound ignorant.
Yeah, so much.
If you're backing the blue, fam, I'm sorry. You can just back the hell up. Because I don't want no parts.
There's so much that needs to be done.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know what I'm saying, like, every cop in the world is bad. Yeah, I said every cop in the world is not bad. But the bad show outweighing the good right now. So
because the culture that's in there. I don't know. Did you watch Jason's episode?
I got to make it halfway through, and then I had to do more work.
So he was talking about how like he read a couple social media posts about these officers that tried to call out bad behavior, and they were basically like, "We don't do that here. You're not going to get any support if you try and call out your fellow officers or whatever." So it's the whole culture. So even that's why they keep getting hired. Like the Shogun dude had like a gazillion complaints against him, and then what makes it even worse is that Klobuchar, who's about to be vice president, failed to prosecute like 4 times. She dropped her name out the race, but the whole culture just needs a change for sure. But
yeah, the what you call it? Dag, it was on the tip of my tongue. I was just about to have said it. Dag, I forgot what I was gonna say.
No,
it was there. I was totally about to say something that was pertinent to that, and I forgot what it was.
Nah, it happens. It happens when you've been talking for like hour, whatever.
Dag, I really forgot what I was about to say.
But
I don't know. It'll come back to me for sure.
Yeah, at some point. But yeah, so what do you think about the whole like? Because you're on social media, so you see all these people posting these things that I think I've made clear to, or at least to me, like the one-liners, like abolish the police. It's like, can we how about think about maybe different training, reallocating the budget, right? Or there's other one-line. I can't even think of another one off the top of my tongue. But like,
I think that's actually what I was about to like kind of touch on. It's like, so we're going with these like one-hitter quitters, basically. That's like, you know, I don't want to say F the police, but you got the F the police, and then you know, like, just brand, like, you know what I'm saying, just those one-hit things, and it's like, okay, but if you write that down as a grievance, are they going to listen to that?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we don't
I'm with you for sure.
Like, and I'm not saying that people aren't educated in the way they're going about it. It's just that we're doing it in a way that's more comfortable for all the generations that are a part of this right now. Because we've got people that are, you know what I'm saying, that probably was marching with Martin Luther King, you know, when they were kids, and now they're marching now in their walkers, or whatever the case they got. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, you got all these things that have happened, but it's like they found a way, especially Martin Luther King. My man's just a really well-educated man.
For sure.
And just the way he was able to put his messages out and the way he was able to verbalize himself was special. But like now, we in the time of Lil Uzi Verts.
Yeah.
And
our
no disrespect, Uzi, you're a cool dude, but he's still a goofy dude. Like, we're in the world of Lil Uzi Verts, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Wiz Khalifa and them are like, those are our higher up like people now. No pun intended, higher up. Think about it.
No, I get what you're saying though, because there's no, for the government to go make a change. There's nothing for them to go off of. Like, there's no Martin Luther King that's going to be like, hey, we want this, and this to change.
Like, before, I feel like, I don't want to say we need that, you know what I'm saying? We need a leader, like, the black people need a leader, Obama. But, like, you know what I'm saying? We had that voice. We had, you know, Martin Luther King. We had Malcolm X. We had all these people, throughout time, we've had these people that have stood up for something, and they were the face of that.
Yeah.
And then now, essentially, we don't have people that have been, and it's a thing because now we're in a different time where people, the celebrities that we have, yeah, they've probably been through stuff, but at this point, everyone has. Yeah. But it's like, now we're just hoping that our celebrities can carry that same weight that these people that, because back then we had celebrities and then we had them.
Yeah.
Now we just got celebrities. So it's like, you know, can we get our Kevin Hart to go out there and do something great for us? Can we get our Rev Run? Just random, just any, you know what I'm saying? Like, celebrity that's, you know, important today or whatever.
Dave Chappelle.
Like, can we get our Dave to go out there? You know, I hope we would never get our Jason Derulo. Heard it here first.
Does he even have teeth anymore?
Those were fake. Those were fake. Yeah, I would hope we would never put our Jason Derulo in the front and hope that would be the answer to, you know, the black struggle. Yeah. Because If it was up to him, I'm sure I'd even go say it.
Don't say
it. Because that boy is lost in the sauce right now.
Yeah, it is.
But I think the way that like social media is going right now, there can be change based on just that, because it's like the news can't keep putting out BS if people are getting the truth on the internet. Too many people have Twitter. If you go on everyone's Twitter, you can see when they joined. So people have had this for a while.
Yeah.
Mine is from 2010 or 12.
Yeah, mine's like 12, I think, as well.
So it's like people have had this app for a long time. They know how to use it. They know where to find information when they really need it.
Yeah.
Not only that, there are subdivisions of these Twitters. So
that's true.
Black Twitter, y'all been doing y'all thing out there. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got things like Black Twitter and anime Twitter, all these different kinds of Twitters.
K-pop Twitter.
K-pop Twitter is low-key funny, and thank y'all K-pop Twitter for all of the tomfoolery that y'all put on
Trump's rally.
All those Trump rally people.
That was hilarious.
Oh, now Trump rally, black people, people understanding the difference in what's happening. So on the internet now, when you see a black person that is supporting the tomfoolery that is oppressing us. And a lot of people I've been seeing it on the internet, people are like, you guys are racist too, because we will call them coons. Yes.
Yeah.
We will call them coons because that's literally what they are doing.
Yeah.
They are cooning it up for our people. And the fact that you have you know what I'm saying, you got the Trump hat on, you dancing, you're grinning, and you're in a section where it's just you.
Yeah.
People that look like you, whatever. Just all black people. But everywhere else, diverse.
Yeah.
But that section, black.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're supporting this. You're supporting putting yourself in a box. Like, I don't care what political views people have, that's cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, if you can't see a person as equal, you can't see a person as equal.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't care what you know what I'm saying? If you notice on social media, I never get into politics. I don't even get into race, honestly.
No, you don't.
I don't get into anything that could be considered controversial because my thing is I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, not like I don't care about people. I just don't care where you come. Like, I care about where people come from and stuff like that. But like, for the most part, if you know what I'm saying, if you're a human being,
it's not going to change how you treat them.
Yeah, if you're a human being, you're a good person.
100%.
Then by all means, hi, I'm Jay. How are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know what I'm saying, if you're all out here doing all that, you know what I'm saying, black people shooting, I don't know if I could be hanging out at your barbecue. Like, that's just not how it's going to work. Like, and the thing is people get so confused because it's like, and I think with people like me, like people that are like really like happy-go-lucky, kind of get along with everybody, people expect me to be, not on the black people's side. And I'm like,
that's weird. I don't get that because I've seen people, not very often, but I've seen people come at you on Twitter or whatever like that once or twice.
Yeah, I get people that are like, oh, you support this, and I'm like, yeah.
Like, one, do you even know him? And two, you're just going to hide behind the keyboard? Or what are you doing?
And that's the thing. And my thing is like, I never have no quarrels with people because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know if you're going to get beat up, but if the balls fit, get that at me. Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, it's like if you're gonna be on the internet and be one of these angry people that's like, oh, I see what you posted and I don't like that because you out here saying something I don't like.
Yeah. Like, why are you on there then? You're just making yourself angry.
Like, and the crazy part is it'll be that one person versus, like, I think I posted something and it had only 20 likes or like some retweets or whatever. Yeah. And my thing is, it's like usually likes and retweets is like, confirmation that what you just said is valid like salad.
Yeah.
Now,
valid like salad.
If you are that one person who is a hater, get the fuck. Well, you can't be that one person at the 20 and then couple retweets and be like, yo, I gotta say something to this guy. He's just downright foolish. Like,
yeah. Then you have the Twitter mob come after you. That's no fun.
You can't be that person that sees someone saying something nice and uplifting, like, yo, I hope black people live. I hope black people are great.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, what about everyone else?
Dude, those people,
Nah.
they just don't get it. They don't get it, honestly. Because, I think when we were still in school, when that first became a thing, I didn't get it either. I was like, what about everybody else? Because I just, like, I hadn't talked with you a lot. I hadn't talked to Jason a lot. I hadn't talked to the twins a lot. Now, like, a couple of years ago, or like 2 or 3 years ago, I started to get it. And I was like,
yeah, I get it. Like,
sense.
and I totally get where people are coming from, where they're like, "Oh, well, y'all are just making it seem." But y'all, the thing is like, you can't be upset that somebody is saying Black Lives Matter and not, because it's like we are black.
Yeah.
So of course we're gonna say Black Lives Matter. I would hope that people, well, I would hope you don't say White Lives Matter or anything like that.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I would hope that you do think all lives matter, but specifically at this point in time, with what's going on, and clearly the noted history people, like, you would be like, yo, this isn't it. Like, they right. Black lives do matter. Like,
I explained the mindset a little bit, or at least how I perceived it before. So when it first came out, I think we were in college, weren't we? So it's like freshman, sophomore college. When it first came out, I saw these people posting it. People like, yeah, Black Lives Matter and all this and that, and people like the whole like F the police thing happened. And I was like, hey man, but what about me? Like, I matter too. And it was like, I didn't put myself in the shoes of the like why it was a thing. And I feel like a lot of that's, not all, but generally, I feel like most people who are in the All Lives Matter camp are coming at it from the perspective of like, they don't understand that it's like, yes, obviously all lives matter, you dingleberry. But it seems, this group of people, it seems to them that theirs don't. And so they want to bring awareness to that. And as I realized that like two years ago or whatever. But I had that mindset shift as well. And that was I don't want to say it was hard. I just felt that I had grown up a little bit. Like, I guess grown up is the right word. But I have been presented with new information, a new perspective, and I changed how I looked at it. I don't know why people don't do that, but
and that's so weird. Like,
yeah,
it's like, if it's literally simple. Like, you hear something, you can research it, you can find out the back, knowledge to it, and then make your adjustments where you see fit.
Yeah.
But some people just are set in their ways. So.
Yeah, it's hard though, because there's definitely people now who were like me then. And it was a lack of exposure, probably, because I had been in the bubble of Northern Virginia my whole life. And then as I spent more time with like you and Vincent, like the twins and everybody down there, I was like, oh, I get it now. And it was just an exposure to a different like way of life or world or whatever the word you want to use is. But people who don't understand them, who haven't experienced outside the bubble of wherever they live, their hometown, whatever, they don't meet new people. It's like nothing profound happened to me except that I just hung out with you guys way more, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what they mean. And it was just like, I remember thinking that one day. It was like when the second wave came out, because I think the first one was like 2012 or whatever, and then the second wave. So I was in high school then, even worse. Right, the first time. So like then the second wave came out, like halfway through college, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. So it was when that came out, I was like, I've noticed that I'm reacting way differently to this time. I wonder why. And then I thought about it. And then it's part of the reasons that I've been explaining to you right now is like, I met some new people, had some new information, changed my view on something. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, it goes back to, again, like what I was saying about your little brother. It's like you make sure that he's not just all gung-ho one way, because the ability to have a conversation with somebody who used to be like I was willing to change my mind. I just hadn't been exposed to it yet,
right?
As evidenced by the fact that I did change my mind. But having a conversation with somebody who's like me, who just doesn't understand, that ability to like show them. It's like, hey, look, this is how I live. Like when you were talking, like when we went to Chipotle, and you were like, this is so much different here. It's safer. Even the lemonade is better.
Yeah,
and it's like.
Lemonade tastes better out here than the South Side.
It's like, but like I would never have known.
Yeah,
because like you grew up. Well, the inner cities are bad places. Like, but you don't know. Like until I heard like story from you. You texted me like, "Hey, damn, somebody just like got shot down the street from where I live." I was like, "Oh, damn, that happened in Fredericksburg."
Yeah, it's like a culture shock sometimes because it's like. I actually, like, my homeboy's, like, my best friend. He's the dude that actually trained me in hoops. And everybody would be like, yo, like, who helped you work out? And I'm sure everyone expects this big, brawny black dude.
Yeah.
Nah, he's a skinny little white boy.
Shooter.
Skinny white dude. Nah, not even a shooter. Not even just a dog. Like, he's just good. Yeah. Like, that's just his thing. Like, but the thing is I've never looked at him as a white boy. Like, and I feel like in every little, hood or whatever the case is, you always got that, one toe. And it's funny because it's like when you go to white neighborhoods, you got that token black kid. Yeah. But when you go to opposite places, you got the token white kid.
It was weird. That low key became me at hoops.
Yeah, and I mean that's just what it is. And it's like, and the thing that had me so interested, or not even interested, but the thing that was interesting about like our relationship is like we've always been super close, always been super tight. We've never had, not even just me and you, but like me and him. Yeah. And it's like we've never had an argument, especially not about race or anything like that. We've never called each other anything crazy, nothing like that. Like I've never even felt uncomfortable about him saying anything. Like he's never made me feel uncomfortable, nothing of the sort. But it's like it's interesting because it was like when the protests and stuff started. Like, I'll be honest, I was hesitant to ask him if he wanted to go because I didn't want him to feel like he was going to be out of place. Yeah. But he expressed, what I'm saying, like, I want to go with y'all, like, if that's cool. And I was like, hell yeah. So, he pulled up, and it's crazy because when the tear gas and stuff happened, we're all, like, a really tight-knit family back there. Like, we'll kill for each other type deal. Like, we love each other out there. So, like, we're a tight-knit little fam. So, it's like, even though my little brother didn't, come up hanging with us, they know, what I'm saying, that's an extension of me. So they take care of him like he's me. So, when the tear gas and stuff initially happened, he grabbed, my brother grabbed me. Yeah. And my other brother grabbed Frank. Because, what I'm saying, like, I don't care if he's the token white boy, I don't care if he's the whatever, like, that's family for us. He's your brother. And it's like, the thing is like, I think we just don't get how people don't feel that way. But I think the thing is if you don't, I feel like when you struggle with people, it don't matter what color you are. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you get that. I'm about to say, me and him have split ramen. That's how broke we've been before. Yeah, like, I
feel like you get that in the military too through boot camp.
Yeah, the people you struggle with become the people that you bond with the most.
It don't matter who it is.
And I'm still cool with every single person that I struggle with in boot camp. I'm cool with every person. I'm about to say, I hang out with consistently the same people that I struggled with. The people when I graduated high school and I was doing all the dumb stuff and getting in trouble and whatnot like that. Yeah. Like those same people that, like, granted, they weren't the ones that were helping me get in trouble. We were doing it together. So don't think that my boys is bad. They're good people. But it's like, I still know them to this day. I see their kids now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I help with their, I ain't say I take care of their kids. I don't take care of nobody's kids. I ain't got no kids of my own. So I ain't taking care of nobody children, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I go see their kids, like I feel like their kids are like my little nieces and nephews, whatever the case is.
Uncle Jay.
It's like I we all grew up together, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're really a family, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you have that with people, I think that's what makes it, you know what I'm saying, so nice. But it's like every place not the same. So you know what I'm saying? There's struggles in Southside. So there's, I see a lot more white boys down there with, gold teeth, neck tats, and you know what I'm saying, that look at me, dap me up, hey, what's going on, bro? You need to versus, when I come to Fredericksburg, and I shit you not, I came to the first time when I left for the quarantine and came back, I shit you not, I was in the CVS for 5 minutes, and I got the hard ER tossed my way.
For real?
Kid you not, I was in for 5 minutes, and it was by an old man who was with his, like, I guess granddaughter or something. But even she was like, she had to be in like her 30s or something like that. So he was definitely super, super old. Yeah. And I could tell he was like not all the way there, but I know what time period he grew up in because of, how he was talking.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh. Like, and the thing was I was like, when that happens, you have like one of two options. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can kirk out, and you know what I'm saying? You can realistically be what they want you to be.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? You could educate them. It's actually more than two options, for real, for real. It's just like, what do you choose to do? And I just remember he walked away, and the lady was like, I'm super sorry, and I was like...
His daughter, granddaughter? Or
the granddaughter, yeah. The granddaughter was like, I just want you to know that he grew up in a complete... And I was like, I understand he grew up in a different time and all this, but I was like, this 2020, baby.
Yeah.
And if you haven't noticed, it's a lot more of me walking around here freely, especially in this little neck of the woods we're at right now.
Yeah.
You got to keep... like, if you know that's the time period he grew up in, may not be your best bet to take him up out the car when
yeah.
when you know that it's, you know, a gang of black people inside, or not even a gang.
A gag.
Like, I just feel like...
I don't want to apologize for what happened, but at least she apologized to you.
No, yeah, and I mean, and the thing is like, with situations like that where you have someone that... And I totally know how it feels to be you are related to somebody. That's your blood. That's your family.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he's done things for you that were great. Awesome. Boom, bow, boom. Not my granddad. But you know what I'm saying? I don't expect you to, you know what I'm saying, him up as soon as he said, well, okay, I do. But at the same time, you know, like, I get you apologizing, and I get where you're coming from, because you understand that, one, he grew up in...
Whatever.
I was about to say something crazy. You grew up in Whipham territory. And then, you know, now we in 2020, and it's like, you are... And I can see her genuine embarrassment from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt bad, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think you understand. Like,
yeah.
And I don't want to like get off the subject of that, but it's like, it just brought me to make me think of like, the one thing that I never understood was how some people could take like the hard ER and think that there's a word that'll ever be as equivalent to the amount of pressure that word brings.
No, I don't.
There's not a word
like,
on this planet that sits as heavy as the hard ER. In my opinion, I'm trying to think.
I can't think of. That's the only word that you're like, oh, that's the N word, and you don't say it. There's no other word.
There's
like,
exactly.
I saw John Mulaney had a bit about it. He was like, some news thing was trying to say you can't say something about like gay people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you can't use this word, and I forgot what the word was, because it's like the N word. But in the email, they spelled out the actual word, and then they said the N word, and it's like, if you're comparing the badness of two words and you won't even say one of them, that's probably the worst one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only word where it's like, you will never see it written out, and you will never see it like.
Another thing about it that always got me is it's like, so in, I guess, like when you have like you have homosexuality and stuff like that, I know that the F word was a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I was one of those kids growing up. I used to say it all the time because I didn't really get it. Like,
yeah.
And then, of course, like once I got more educated about it, I understood that that's an offensive word.
Yeah,
because one, I don't understand because I'm not homosexual.
Yeah.
So
and then you take it
it's
out
not
of
my
your
place.
vocabulary
Exactly.
as you
So,
learn. Yeah.
and my thing is like, if you think about it, when you have a lot of people, a lot of the homosexual community will still use that word because they essentially like took that word back.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, in black society, you hear the N word with no R.
Yeah.
The N.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, was always used as a term of endearment, whatever, blah blah blah. They kind of just stole it back to try and bring the word some kind of like
less badness.
Yeah, to bring it a whole different aspect, basically. And instead, you're working with, you know, people that are like, well, I mean, black people say it, so why can't we? And it's like,
it's because you don't understand.
And my thing is, I'm always wanting to be like, well, because you invented it. Remember? Like,
yeah, that's true.
You invented this word. We had to switch it up and put some of that twang on there so that way it don't sound so bad. Because when you hear the R, it just. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I mean like
it's that shit just like
bad. It throws the tension in the room.
It's like and I don't understand how people don't get that. And it's like even older generations. It's like, fam, you've watched people progress for multiple decades now.
Yeah.
Yet there's still people that find it okay to, you know what I'm saying, to lash out and bring all this like hectic racial chaos to people. And I'm like,
I don't get it. I don't get it either.
What you doing? What you doing? Like, why you do this?
Yeah.
Oh, you like that Whip 'em territory? I mean, it's true. That's what we were in, Whip 'em territory.
It goes back to education and exposure thing again all the time. It's like you've got that pocket of people that just doesn't care and they're just malicious and they're going to do it to be mean. Mm-hmm. Then you got the other pocket of people that just like they don't know. They've never been exposed to the culture. They've never been exposed to the people. They've never, like, they don't understand.
And those are the people that you gotta reach. The people that are, but it's like, I don't expect them to, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to say that they're not educated or versed.
No, of course not. That's a hard thing to do, to look yourself in the mirror
and be like,
I don't know this thing.
Yeah, like that's hard. That is a hard thing
to admit ignorance on something. Exactly. It's not an easy thing. Most people, at least that I know, would struggle mightily with that just due to the fact that it is a lacking care or a lacking trait in their own person. People don't like to see what's wrong with them because that's like you look at yourself and you're like, oh, that's a piece of me that's not good.
And I think that goes back to the struggle thing because it's like if you know what I'm saying. And I'm not saying, and everyone's struggles are different, but it's like you got different kinds of struggles. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
There's people that are struggling with their grades, and then there's people that are struggling with their life. Like
it's not the same.
They're two different things. You got a kid that there's two kids that are going to school. One kid, can't get that C+. The other kid can't get that, that rent money, so his mom's crib can't be, taken away and stuff. So it all comes down to what, what I'm saying, where people come from and, what they're willing to accept as true and what they're willing to, I guess, not accept.
Yeah.
Some people are just out here and like, Black Lives Matter? No, everyone matters, brother. And there's some people that are like, they matter? Then you got the people that are like, yeah, Black Lives Matter for sure, but I need help.
No, definitely.
Is there a pamphlet?
Is there a pamphlet? Yeah, like you were saying, man, everybody got a different struggle. That was the point, a big point of the podcast, to get people on here who's had different struggles so we can get educated or at least learn about the different perspectives, the different struggles that people are going through. So I think I feel
like you should not, like, when you talk about, like, struggles, fam, I feel like, me personally, and you know my story, I should not be afraid, fam. Every time a cop car get behind me.
No.
I don't care if, and we all know I'm Bob Marley Jr., but I just say, I should be able to get in my car, fam, and my heart should not race every time I see anything that looks like a cop car. For you people that buy the Explorer and Expedition and aren't cops, fuck you.
Dude, for sure. They scare me. Dude, they scare me. I can't even imagine what it's like for you. I was driving the other day and I was like, oh, please don't be a cop. Please don't be a cop. Please don't be a cop. Like, but I don't even have to deal with the added stuff that you do. I was just scared of getting a ticket.
God. Like, the amount of pressure that my brain goes through anytime I see those lights behind me, fam.
Yeah.
It's not it. Richmond Cop, shout out to y'all because y'all lazy as fuck. So y'all been holding it down for a couple years. With Fred PD.
Richmond been good except when they're gassing you.
Officer Elliott. You know who you are, Mr. Mustache.
You can't be calling people on podcasts, man. How you gonna do this on podcasts?
No, that means you're not valid. You're not valid. I ain't gonna do nothing to you. You're just not valid.
He said Richmond.
You're not a fun person. You were really mean to me and I didn't like it. You're borderline disrespectful.
But we understand you have a hard job. I'm not trying to get demonetize or whatever. We don't even make money on this anyways. Don't call out cops on the podcast.
I'm just saying, you suck. Not in like a fellatio way, just like in a, you're just not it. I don't know how else you want me to say it, brother, but you just... Oh wait, no, not those.
And on that note, it's a good place to end before we get ourselves in more trouble. Jay, thank you for coming on. We can put the...
Everyone say hi to Eric. This is what I've been talking to. If y'all are wondering,
how y'all doing?
Talking to myself.
He might have been.
And someone said Officer Smell.
Don't say it. We'll talk about it off camera. We'll talk about it off camera. But we can put the link to the Dropbox for the pictures. We can put it in the description.
Facts.
You got anything you want to promote while we're still on camera?
Shout out to Natural Mystics, the greatest head shop in Fredericksburg. Know the vibes. Shout out to Aaron Bensink. That's the guy that put me on with rugby. Shout out to Manny and all them, my little brother and Freak and all my friends. Oh my God, I love you guys. And Tone Skillet. That's my son.
Skillet. Bye, everybody.